Which goes to, do you think that it is easier for a man to disclose all this to a woman or a woman to disclose all this to a man? Because I believe that, if I'm being honest, I believe it's a lot of lying and a lot of sugarcoating and a lot of other stuff that's going in, which means that in my personal opinion, I feel like it's a conversation you don't need. But that's me. What do you think? You think it's easier? So you think that you're cool disclosing all of your stuff?
I'm not cool with it just because I don't like my business out there. Like, so I'm really.
Hold on, you don't want to put your business out, but you want her to be
But if she asks, I'm not gonna volunteer the information. But if she asks, I'll tell her. But my thing is, I feel like women, and some women, not all women.
Clarification.
Some women, I feel like it almost makes, I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes it makes you more attractive that they know that other women have wanted you and that you've had certain women in your life. It's weird. So whereas if she's telling me this, it makes her, she might think that it devalues her. But, you know, as I get older, I find that I don't give a fuck. Like, as long as I know, as long as you come clean about it. But I'm not gonna volunteer the information unless she asks me.
Well, hold on. You talked about how important this is. But you ain't even the one coming out being like, well, hey, let's start this off. Let me tell you about all of my past, so you can tell me all your past.
Yeah,
you really being like, tell me all your stuff, so I can figure out if I want to deal with you or not. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
No, I'm saying, like, I respect it. I'm not requiring her to do that. I'm saying I would respect it more if she did that. That doesn't mean I gotta do that. Like, I'm not making it a require. It's not a deal breaker if she does or doesn't. I'm just saying I appreciate that she would come clean about that. Now, if it was one of her friends, I'll say something, but just a random fling that I had in Vegas last year, why would I bring that up? No.
And I feel like it's easier for a woman because a woman is going to be more emotional. Okay. It's an emotion attached to that past. It's something that each past relationship is a moment in my life when I was here and there. So I feel like it's starting something that's too deep for me. From my experiences, I said, goddamn, what did I step into? Because it was a lot. It was like a mind. Like, what's the minds blowing up? You trying to, it was just like, I'm not going to share. So for me, it would be harder for me to just be like, so, you know, my ex, Alicia, Renee, they were this way, that way. I'm not about to get it.
Can I keep it 1,000 with you?
I can talk about my past.
I think dudes is a little more, with they breakups, I think they way more emotional.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I think when like them dudes who really know, I think them be the ones that got some scar tissue. It be dudes right now who be like, I don't trust no woman. It was a girl in the 3rd grade who ain't like me and I ain't never going. And I be like, dude, you gotta let that stuff go. I feel like dudes be super emotional. They put on that masculinity, but they be super. And they be the ones that probably need to go like deal with that stuff before they get in their relationship.
I was that dude.
I was too. I've been that dude.
That's what I say. This sound like you. It's you. I was about to go for it.
Hey, you know, we already discussed this. Like, I've been divorced. You know what I'm saying?
You say it we know all the time.
I'm just saying, it's been a time where, you know, it's like, man, you know what? Just finna be out here living like y'all too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just finna be in these streets.
I'm not. Let's clarify. I'm not in these streets.
Liar. Keep going, Martin.
Every intro you say I'm in these streets. That's him.
I just nod my head like, yeah, but.
But nah, man. Yeah, we do hold on to stuff a little bit. I think more than I think women get over stuff a little bit faster than us sometimes.
Yeah, because they work through that shit.
Can I say this?
They probably done work through it more than one time.
My thing
they
is,
do for that.
This may not be, you know, correct or politically correct.
Say that shit.
Sometimes I feel like in relationships, like we do things not. Let me speak for myself. I've done things not intentionally to hurt a woman, right? But if she's hurt, sometimes women are vindictive and they hurt. They know how to. I've
heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot.
So it hurts a little more, and that's why men. I feel
it's
like
vengeful. It's a little vengeful.
Yeah, it's a little vengeful. But I've never done anything. But then they'll make the argument of like, well, you still hurt me. Hurt is hurt. But at the same time, I didn't do anything out of spite to hurt you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it hurts a little more. So it might make your ego go up and all that kind of shit.
That's why I want to talk about it. That's why I'm like, I want
That's
to
why
hear
I
about
wanna
your
talk
little
about it.
ex-boyfriend. I want to hear about your little.
It's that time.
No,
it's that time. It's that time. All right, it's that time. We need a little bit of help. We need perspective. So let's go ahead and bring in our guest. You know what I mean? So let's bring in Miss Ramona Wright. Yes.
Hey,
Miss Wright, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm good.
Yes,
Happy to be
yes.
here.
There you go.
Looking good in your hat.
All right, first cousin, come on in, cuzzo. I see you. All right, cuzzo.
Represent
Don't worry about it.
it.
All right. So Ramona, you are the host of The Chair. Find it on what, Google Play and iTunes, where you can get a good podcast.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes. And you're also a wellness life coach? Because I need it, all right?
A certified integrative wellness life coach.
Ooh, I like that. And a TED Talk speaker?
A TEDx.
Ooh,
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
this. I like this. All right, cool. Let's get it. Because you can help us. Now, you've been listening to us, correct?
Oh, I've been listening to everything that you,
Yeah.
and you
You, I don't know.
have said.
All right,
I don't know
okay.
what y'all ladies are thinking about all this, but don't worry, I'm going to represent.
Okay, cool. So,
Scoot over.
you see where it is.
Trouble.
So, what is your thoughts about talking about past relationships, working through it, figuring it out? Should it be said? What's your thoughts?
So a good friend of mine, a fella, said you have to be responsible for the information that you share with people. What can they do with it? So I think that's something to always think about. Some people are like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep people on a need-to-know basis. But you also have to think about, if I tell somebody this information, how are they going to use it? Not so much against you, but what good is it going to do? So I think that's question one, to kind of be fair to some of what y'all have said, especially you.
I was going to get in trouble. I scoot it over.
But you know what? The hat is saving you, because you know.
There it
it's
is.
bringing
Let
it
me
back.
know right now.
You
Let me
know.
know.
I'm a good one.
But I also think too, one of the things we don't always talk about when we talk about past relationships, and this is a question that when you think about Steve Harvey's questions, or you know, the list of 20 questions that ladies have for fellas, how did you cope with your last breakup? You know what I mean? Like, how did you really cope and deal with that? And I think that ladies, we have an opportunity to talk all the time about our relationships. And I think the cool thing that you guys are doing on the show is you're giving yourselves an opportunity to express yourselves. Y'all don't really have a chance always to express, how did you feel in the last relationship? How did, you know, what happened in the last relationship? I've definitely experienced brothers who've been divorced, and there's a lot of bitterness and hurt and pain. Where do you go to talk about that, right?
Where did you talk about that? No, where did you talk about that, Mark?
Why I got to be bitter?
No, where did you talk about
I'm saying
that?
you're bitter. I'm saying that that's
Are you
definitely
expressing yourself through your
something
hat?
that comes up.
Yeah, man. You know,
I threw the hat, though.
You know what? I don't. It wasn't a problem for me to talk about stuff. Like I mean, I'm talking about it on stage now. Like, it's not like I don't care. Like, I want you to know this information so you can figure out if you want to deal with me or not.
Which
So,
is good.
Hey, here you go. Bam.
And I think that's a really good point, is like, when do you tell the person? So, you know, if it's something that's very informal and y'all are just messing around, when is the appropriate time to bring up certain information?
But you know what? Also being so open about being divorced and talking about what happened, whatever, somebody may like, he ain't over. He's still talking about this. Like, I'm just telling you,
Your
you know, it's
story.
not that I'm still dealing with the situation, but like, this is what was going on. This is where I am and whatever. It's not that me sharing it means I'm still trying to find someone's shoulder to cry on, so to speak. And that could like work against you in a situation, which it has, but who cares?
But Ramona, let me
Go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is it worse if a woman finds out what you had the opportunity to tell her about your past? If it comes back and bites you in the ass, how do we deal with that in your perspective on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, so what you're saying is it better for you to come clean and tell something, and
Or if it come back
or
around,
if she finds out about
right.
it and has to
Is it more
confront you
hurtful?
about it?
Yeah.
I think it depends on the person. It depends on the relationship. It depends on how y'all have communicated previously. I mean,
How you feel about it, though? I want to know you.
I would rather somebody come and tell me, especially if that past situation is going to impact our present situation.
Okay.
I think that's when it's really important.
I mean, what if it was just her former coworker? She don't work with her no more. But you know, I didn't want to tell her then. But now that she moved to a new job,
Why set off that dynamite?
Look, some ladies, I might get some hate mail for this, but I know that some of us, not me, but some of us find it hard to forget certain information once we get it. I will admit that,
That's why I
right?
always give it.
And so I
Yes.
think sometimes, you know, you have to weigh, do you want to possibly be judged continuously for that, depending on the maturity level of the person. And I will also say that some brothers are unforgiving if they find out certain information as well. So again, it goes back to, once you share this information, being responsible for that information that you share.
See there, I knew I was right. Thank you, Ramona. No, I also want to ask you, when, you know, speaking from that, just talking about past relationship, talking about coping, are you suggesting that brothers need to work on coping better? And if so, how do you do that in a masculine setting? Like, I'm asking you, like, I know when I've had my little quick breakups, you know, I'm married or whatever else. Yo, man, I remember my boys was like, nah, man, hush. We going to the strip club. You're going to take these ones. You're going to get some of this Hennessy, and you're going to be good by Monday. And that was the way it was at. So, like, is there like a, Cause all that talking stuff, sometimes it ain't. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we forget that men are people too, right? Y'all have feelings too. Where do you go to have a safe place to be able to express, yo, I was really heartbroken from that relationship. So where do you guys go? I think therapy, I'm a total advocate for therapy. It's a safe space where you can go where none of your boys are there.
That's true.
Nobody's there, and you can talk about, what happened in that past relationship. But more than anything, you can discover who you are and what you want. So that as you go into another relationship, if there's patterns where you find, why do I keep accepting, not attracting? Because, light attracts everything. And y'all are some beautiful lights. So, you can attract a lot of things, but what are you willing to accept? I think both for ladies and men. And so in therapy, or if you're interested in a life coach, someone like myself, you can discover, okay, what are some things that are going on with me, and why do I keep accepting bad behavior, either from that person or from me? So that's my advice.
I feel like you're talking to me.
Man,
I
I
need to
feel
sit
so
back
good
and
right
tell
now. I feel awesome right now.
Black and sexy, baby.